All right, well, welcome to the next episode of Discipline, Desire, and Dedication. My name is Dakota Lang. This is Garrett Cotton, episode 15.
Yep, we're knocking them out.
Knocking them out. But we got a good friend of ours, a guy that's been through a lot throughout his life and just kept persisting, kept pushing forward and just, believing in himself and got a lot more work to do, but it's came a long way. Is Mr. Evan Guidry. So, welcome,
Guppy. He's not Mr.
Yeah.
This is Guppy Guidry.
Yeah. But his real name's Evan Guidry. So.
Formally, I have to announce myself as.
Yeah, well, let's go. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and go ahead.
Well, I was just saying I usually have to say Evan Guidry to people, but I was
Yeah.
like, people call me Guppy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what most people do. Even parents still to this day, it's Guppy.
Yeah.
Guppy. If it feels
Well,
weird.
that's even better. So, why do people call you Guppy?
It's such I call it a silly story. It started back when I moved to Illinois we were there for 5 years, and so it's a small town, like small town, and in that it was like an elementary, middle school, and a high school all together, and my graduating class was like 23 people, and me and my two brothers, we all moved there. Some Cajun boys from Louisiana come up, and our last name's Guidry, so they don't know how to pronounce Guidry, as I'm Illinois folks, and I was just in class one day, so backtrack that story, they would call us Guidry 1, Guidry 2, and Guidry 3, because it's not a normal thing to have like 3 siblings all in one school because it was that small of a town.
Right.
So that's what it was, Guidry 1, Guidry 2, and Guidry 3, and like science class one day, we're just all reading a book, and Garrett, you read this page, or you read this section, and someone started reading it, and they said, like, Guppy, like, in the paragraph. And everyone just looked at me. And I just kind of started looking back at the class, like, why are y'all looking at me? And they're like, Guppy. I'm like, no, it's Guidry. And from there, it obtained in Illinois of Guppy, and that's what they would call me. And I moved back to Louisiana. So, new kid, fresh start, middle school, and tried out for the basketball team, made it. First game, home game, my oldest brother's girlfriend is holding up a sign saying, let's go like Guppy. And no one knows who the hell Guppy is until the number was. And then the whole middle school figured out my nickname was Guppy. And from then on out, everyone that I've met were like, you're Guppy, right? You're the Guppy kid? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I go by, I guess.
It followed you across the country. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Teachers would call me Guppy. Parents call me Guppy. Coaches call me Guppy. And it's just like a known thing. Like, some people would know me for years as Guppy and never know my actual name.
Right.
And after like 5 years, like, what is your actual name? And I'm like, it's Evan. They're like, yeah, we're good. It's Guppy.
That's awesome. But all right, so give us a little background about where you came from, who you are after you were Guppy, but before you're now.
So after I was Guppy, then correct? Yeah. So I mean, I guess I kind of grew up different parts of the world, but mostly Prairieville is where I'm from. Also on the Amite River in Port Vincent, but.
Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana. Yeah. There it is in Louisiana, a boot boy. But grew up in Prairieville after I moved from Illinois and went through middle school there. Went to high school to Dutchtown. Played baseball there for full 4 years. And my biggest dream was to go play college baseball. That was my mom's dream. She saw it on me. I saw it. I wanted to do it. Had a few offers from community colleges across the states, but just nothing I felt like was worth my time. Still should have went and done it, but everything happens for a reason. So
Did you play anywhere in college or no?
No, I went straight to Southeastern, commuting my first year with Bushi and his girlfriend Brooke. So we were commuting the first semester, and then ended up finally moving in to Southeastern, and we were just normal college students. That's it. And so I was there for college. That's the whole point. Parents grow you up to go to college, and that's what it was. And I think eventually it was Andrew McDonald that walked up to me and Bushi in the student union talking about rushing some fraternity and stuff like that, and come try it out. And I'm like, dude, I would never do that. I would never rush a fraternity. And little do I know, I ended up getting brought to K, and all of them were pretty cool guys. I enjoyed my time there. I mean, everyone got along, and I ended up rushing K. I moved up, kind of the chain of K. Wanted to be a leader there too as well. At first, I didn't. I was like, I just want to be the guy in the background, enjoying the time. Ended up becoming the number 3 to number 2. I never became number 1. I didn't really have too much, inspiration to do that, but did that. It was really cool. It felt like you were running a business there. That's how I almost was trying to run K once I was leaving. And I think you started kind of seeing it in my part.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a recording secretary, just trying to take charge and lead a group of guys to help them in life. Because, I went through a lot of stuff in life. So I want to kind of get their brain to a mature way too, so that they see what I'm seeing. But
Yeah.
it's very hard to do that to some people.
Especially fraternity guys.
Yeah, they don't see
18-year-olds coming into college.
Yeah.
But I was like very mature. I was already very mature, like going into college. So I was just wanting to take a bigger step and grab these almost kids I look like by the hand and like show them a bigger way to life, not just partying and drinking. Like there's more to life than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up finishing school at Southeastern. Got two degrees, then one. I wanted to beat my oldest and younger brother out in education. They're really smart. So I thought if I got 2 degrees, I could hold that above their head.
Yeah.
So I finished with finance and accounting, and my whole dream job was to be a financial advisor. That was just like the life. Like I just told how much money they make, like what they do, like golfing on the golf courses day, and like I want to do that. And so I finished college, went to it was a private firm in Metairie. I got a job at Compass Capital Management. Awesome firm. Honestly, it was probably the biggest blessing I was in my eyes presently. And I was taking my test and going through the motions of that, like trying to get up and started to be a financial advisor. But during this entire time of my last year in college and going in to be a financial advising, Garrett here was nonstop Snapchatting me and texting me about this gig, about performance windows, and I just kept kind of blowing Garrett off, like, dude, I want to be a financial advisor.
He wouldn't respond sometimes, and ghosted a couple times, but I still sent him. I still sent him.
He was persistent through it. He would Garrett wouldn't stop sending me Snapchats. Just it was kind of vaguely though. It wasn't like he was really pushing me for it.
It was just dropping little crumbs.
He was leaving the trail up to me, and I'm like, this is the Garrett. I'm never gonna go do that. And I really didn't know what he did, but seemed pretty cool still at the time, but my whole dream still was to be a financial advisor. And it got to a point, I still tell some homeowners even this about my, what happened with financial advising is just, I was like 23 of the age. They're telling me I have to rely heavily on your parents and your friends. And I'm like, well, first of all, I don't have much of a family. And second of all, my friends, they don't got money.
Yeah.
So I was like, and it started getting in my head, and it really got in my head to where man, I don't think this is the right step for me right now. And I really wanted it. And, so now I'm like, man, what should I do? Because I was like, I'm still taking my test, but I knew in the back of my mind this wasn't going to work out. They were just pushing us like friends and family.
Yeah.
And it came down to the point I actually almost went and sold life insurance in Tampa with this guy. Mm-hmm. It was actually I almost went there besides coming to performance, and he was just showing me the lifestyle they were living, the money he was making, and I got on phone calls with him wanting to go up there. And the story became of how I got here was golfing with the Kerfossis, Dylan, Trent, Cody, and Andrew McDonald. And finally when I was with Dylan, he was off. I was like, dude, tell me about this gig finally. Like, what is this? Like, what's going on? And he hit script on me. I was like, damn, that sounds damn good.
Pretty good. I want windows.
Yeah, I would.
I was like, that script sounds good. And then I was like, all right, I like what I hear. I want to see the numbers though. That's what I'm here for. So Dylan, it's at the time when he was just going off as a knocker. I didn't know it, but he shows me the every account. And even at the smaller pay scale, what I was seeing there, I was like, holy crap. I was like, Dylan, I don't know. You're doing it. I can do it.
Yeah.
So I was, in 3 days, literally the next day, I packed up my entire room in New Orleans, where I was staying at. Told the fellas that I was living with, I'm going to Colorado to do it. I think I texted Cotton that night, got the script. I started learning the script right away. The last night I packed up my room, and 3 days, packed my room up. Second day, got in the truck with Dylan. Third day, I was in Colorado. I didn't tell my stepdad, my stepmom. I told my brothers, just so a family member did know. And I came up here, just kind of on the spot. I was like, let's do it. I knew it.
But it was fully invested. It was packed up and moved. It wasn't coming to try the job.
No, it was. And to give you even feedback on that, yeah, it's true, because I packed up the entire room. Stuff was in, Home Depot, moving boxes. I packed the Lexus in. Lexus was packed. That baby was packed. And I brought it all here, and it was kind of like I was all in. And still in the second, the thing I think with a lot of people have in their head is always having a backup plan. And I think at that point, when I was even financially advising, my backup plan was to do something like this or sell life insurance. So when I first originally got here in August, when I was rolling out of bed, no routine, I'm just coming in and just doing the job. Yeah. That's what I was doing, and it reflected of how I did my first month. And in the back of my head, I'm still thinking, I still have that life insurance gig if I ever want to back up on something. And I realized it very shortly. I was like, dude, if I keep thinking that I have a backup plan, I'm never going to focus on the road that I'm in right now.
That's it.
So I had to drop it. Mentally, my head is, I have no backup plan. This is what I'm doing, and this is how I want to do it. And so from there, it was kind of liftoff. And I still remember the very first day when the office, Clay's desk was in there, and I just quit the financial advising job.
Wait, what'd you say?
When Kaleo's desk was in there.
Yeah.
I remember walking in there. I mean, I just left a financial advising gig that could have ended up being really good for me. And I walked in there, and I remember asking, I was like, look, I just want to know there's room to grow in here. Like, I can move up. Like, I'm not just going to be doing this. And Kaleo was like, dude, this company is going crazy right now. Like, if you don't think there's room to grow, you're down yourself. There's a lot of roles to take up, and you're in the right spot. So from there, that's when I fully bought it. I was like, that's what I needed here. That's all I want to do now. And I put my head down and started grinding.
Yeah, it kind of comes to that saying of like the grass is always greener on the other side. Like that's kind of like the fallback plan. You know, you always kind of like, well, if this doesn't work, I can always go to this, you know. But the reason that it looks good over there is because someone's watering that grass. You know, someone's doing what they need to do to be able to show you that it does work. But you just personally weren't doing the product. You know, coming in and being a little bit lazier, you know, making excuses, sleeping late, you know. But now you're really accountable, huh?
Yeah. And I knew it too when we had that talk when I got really mad that I wasn't doing good. And I was watching, you know, you watch other people in the office. And I'm like, I know I'm better than this guy. I know I'm better than, you know, he or she. Like, I know I can do what they're doing, but even better. And I finally sat down with Garrett. We're about to go over Zero, and I still have the little piece of paper in my car stick above my head. And it was first it was a Zero review. And then finally all it says was slow down. I remember it's like, dude, actually, it's not even your Zero. It's not even, like, the job. It's, what are you doing outside of work? And I was like, what do you do? Tell me. And I was like, I want to be honest with you. I mean, I'm a straight-up guy. I'm truthful. I'm like, well, Garrett, to be honest with you, I just kind of roll out of Dylan's, like, guest room bed and throw on my clothes, and I get here. And he was like, that's it.
Yeah.
He kind of told me, we wrote down the goals of exactly building a routine, and that's huge. I think is definitely being accountable and holding a routine in your life. If you don't have that, I don't think you have anything.
Yeah, that best saying that we ever hear is, you know, this opportunity will change your life, but only if you're willing to change your life for the opportunity. Change your life, not the setting.
Yeah.
Change your life, you know, how you live. Yeah.
And one thing that you've experienced is, I mean, think about when you came in, you know. So when you came in, you're ignorant. You know, you didn't know how to do it, right? But as a leader, that's why it's very important whenever you do have somebody that comes and moves into your house that you hold them to that standard and show them the way. Because if Cotton would have never sat down with you and showed you the way, well, then you would have never. You might have figured it out, but it would have took you 10 times longer, right? So that's one of the biggest things. Because how many recruits have you had come up?
I've had 4
recruits come up, and one of the biggest things when somebody does not make it is because they either weren't shown the way or they wouldn't do the way, right? Do what you're telling them to do because they think that they have a better plan, or, you know, or even I take it to an extent when somebody, I had a gentleman leave, and I straight up told him, I said, it almost feels like a disrespect that you don't believe what I'm telling you. Right? I'm showing you what to do. All you got to do is trust me, and I will help you get there. Right? So I would say that's a big takeaway from like what Cotton, you know, noticing that and bringing you in and going, hey, this is, you know, let's fix this problem, and then you see results.
But the thing is that you wanted to.
Yep.
Because the people who leave, you want their success more than they want their success. Yep. See, but you came in and you wanted success, you just didn't know how to do it. But that's where it's easy to train. Yep. It's easy to apply. But the people who don't want it and they don't believe in themselves and they're always thinking about that backup plan, you know, because that's all your people. They all had backup plans. And they're like, well, I mean, my mom will help me do this, you know, and, you know, they can fall back. And
and then
they just
always
never committed.
Yeah, and they always play victim, right?
No, even to touch on that, too, it's very true. Like, I think the biggest I wish I would have been able to stay with Garrett for the 2 months because, you know, just seeing the people we produced and what they became to be, it's huge. Just even for you and, like, other recruits, Lizzie, like, even seeing Dylan and, you know, no offense to Dylan. I didn't get to get shown, you know, the actual, you know, the discipline way and the dedication way of you got to do these things if you want to be successful.
Yeah.
I think during my entire life, you've always had to experience it and I had to do it myself, you know. not saying I needed someone to help me or, lift me up, but I always had to experience either the failure or experience, the road to success in order to actually obtain it. Right. And that's when he just sat me down and told me the things I needed to do. That's what I needed. Just someone like this is what you need to do. But obviously, Garrett can't force me to do the things that I need to do. You can't. Yeah. And that's what you're saying about the recruits. I showed the recruits the way.
Yeah. They saw it.
I did it in front of them. They all knew it.
We gave them a lot.
Yes, and I did a lot. It's like I almost felt like I was breaking my back over for them. Like what you said, I wanted it so bad for those 4 guys so badly, and I did so much for them to grow, and they knew that too. And I think they accepted the fact that they just thought they were just too comfortable with the lifestyle they lived back home, that this almost felt like it was too tough on them. Yeah. And that's what I'm still seeing from, mentally them. I think it was a mental game for them. They mentally.
And one thing that I've learned about recruiting, kind of like what you said, you wanted it more with them, you bent over backwards. That reflects the doors, right? Just like if you go to a homeowner and, you're acting like we need you, right? No. I don't need you. I'll show you. I can help you, but I'm not going to do it for you, right? So that's one of the biggest things is when new recruits come in, if you go in and you do it for them immediately and, you're going out there and you're setting the appointments for them and they're getting the closes and they never do it themselves, well, guess what they're always going to do? They're always going to rely on you to do it for them, right? Yeah. And then they never grow.
Yeah. I did it twice. Like the first 2 recruits, actually, I remember I said for my first recruit, I set them like 3 appointments the first day. Set him even a walk-in, and I actually got my second recruit. You closed it. I actually got his sale for him just because I wanted him to see that it's possible, but he couldn't see it was possible because he didn't
do it.
I did it for him, and that was a big thing. Like in life, you got to go through it. You got to see it. You got to be able to understand what you're doing, and see the success come after you see what you did. So I have to do X, Y, and Z for A, B, and C to happen, and they never got the chance to do that.
And we talked about that previously, is you have to fail to know how to fix, But for them, you did it for them, so they didn't fail. They don't know what they did different. They're like, oh, well, I'm doing what Guppy did, So it's that you got to take that time afterwards, too. I feel like the best way is hitting, 3 combos, set one in front of them, and then flip and watch, and watch, and, and then coach for the rest of that session or something, But regardless, keep the pipeline full. One's going to fall out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you got to do. You really can't. I never looked behind what happened behind me, and all I did was just keep looking forward. And
they're all learning lessons. Yep. You learn from them, so you got to take the positive from it. You know what not to do for the next ones. So
get the mind a little bit stronger.
Yeah, so. Let's really, because your story is very unique, right? And I look back to it whenever you were coming through your knocker, or when you first got here in August, because you qualified September, October?
September and October. I came here. August was technically my first month because I came here late July. So.
Right. So late July, August, September, October. Yeah. So let's rewind. Let's go back to the month of September, right? So you go all the way through the month, grinding, doing what you're supposed to do, working every day, and in reality, you got a shout out that was not technically counted as a close, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like a $4,000 deal, right?
Yeah, I remember this.
So you're on the last week of the month, and the reason I bring this up is just because you did it, but at the same time, like I said this morning, is that if you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to see the results that you're supposed to get. And the system of performance windows will always pay you back, right? So you went out there, you did what you're supposed to do for the month of August?
It was September.
September. So you were going through the month, you weren't seeing the results instantly, right? So you come in, you get a shout out, well, then it's taken away from you, right? So now you're back down to 5 sales, correct?
Correct.
And you're on the last week of the month. Tell me what was going through your process whenever, that whirlwind of emotion hit you. Because I could only imagine what it felt like whenever you had to get the phone call, because I know you made him call. You said,
I'm not telling Guppy. I was like, you better call him and tell him that does not count.
Yeah, I remember that. And then let's talk about, Dylan calling you and what went through your emotion. And because people you can either look at that situation at 2 different ways, right? You can play victim and say, poor me. Or you can light a fire up underneath you, which is what you did, and push 10 times harder. and go get the results. But what would you say that really just when you got that phone call, what went through your mind?
Yeah, no, I still remember when I got that phone call. I think I was actually at some restaurant with Jared maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and when Dylan's calling me, of course I'm not sure why he's calling me right now. That's when I was living with Jared, and when he calls me and he's just like, asking me, what's going on and stuff, telling him, he's like, well, I can't remember verbatim by verbatim, but
Right.
eventually he ends up telling me, like, hey, bro, by the way, like, the sale that I closed, it doesn't count because it wasn't over like 6,000. Like, that's the amount it needs to be to qualify. And he's just like talking to me, and I think my face, because I was actually in a very happy mood. I mean, I'm at 6 sales. I think this is going in to like the last 2 days of the month or the last day of the month.
It was real short.
It was real. It was like right there at the end of the month
Right.
when he told me, because I thought I had 2 more sales, and like like I was feasible, a few days, 2 sales, and he was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. And my face just, my whole body demeanor just drained everything.
Right.
Like it's almost like a shocked feeling, and I'm like squeezing my phone really hard, just so mad, and just kind of
So let's elaborate on that. So to become a closer with Performance Windows, you have to have 2 consecutive months of 8 sales. So that's what Guppy's referring to, is that he was at 6 sales, and then because of how big the deal size was, it didn't count towards a qualifying month.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, that was actually a good background. I probably wouldn't have known that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it happened, and my whole body just got flushed out. And I mean, I was just mad. And that's me. Anyone can read when I'm upset. Like I'm a very happy-going guy, and like you can read it on me easily. And I just dropped my phone on the bar. Like didn't say much to Dylan, just short answered him. And Jared was like, "What's up?" And I kind of explained to Jared, and I'm just upset. Like emotions were drained. Like I was really upset, morally, like just very pissed off and mad. But I understood why. Like I wasn't mad at the system. I wasn't mad at the system for doing it to me, but it's because I need to do it by the system to be correctly. So I was like, I mean, I understand it, but it still makes me so mad that I'm this close to achieving success, but it just got pulled from me. And that's how the phone call went. And I guess carrying on to the last day of going in September, I knew I needed 3 more sales to qualify.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on the last day, you just got a sale pulled from you. Most people are just gonna, weep in their sorrows. They're just gonna be poor me.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That my month is done. Like, I'm not gonna qualify, but not me. I don't know why, but I know why, because I'm just built differently mentally. That it lit so much of a fire in my mind that it's like, you want to take this from me? Well, I'm gonna show you like how I'm built. I'm gonna show you what
something to prove.
I'm gonna show you what I can do. And I went out there in the neighborhood. And I remember me and Jared went to some like duplexes. We were taking a risk. We're like, might as well take a risk. Like, what do I have to lose? So, because most people think those are renter-heavy places. And so I hit one cul-de-sac. I don't think I said anything. And the next cul-de-sac, I mean, I'm still fuming. First home, walk-in. Second home that I knocked, same day. Third home I knocked, walk-in. And then I kept going. I think I had another same day. And I'm just firing, like, just on all cylinders. Like, doing whatever I can on the doorstep to achieve what I wanted. And in a short amount of time, who closed the first one? It was Carson closes the walk-in. Carson closes it the next same day, and then I only needed 1 more to qualify. And Garrett, when I knew Garrett was running an appointment, I guess I had a lot of confidence for him to go in there. That's just nice to have a closer like that go in there. And I didn't know how I felt about the set really originally, but Garrett walked in there, and he was in there for the full time. And I remember parking my car a little bit behind it. And when he came out, obviously you don't see green until he actually puts on his phone. And I think I casually just walked up, handed him his portable charger. Didn't make a big reaction yet.
Yeah.
And he's like, just follow me here. And the next thing you know, he told me that he closed the appointment. And I think I just went crazy.
Yeah.
And it was just probably the craziest story that I can ever.
And it was a super easy sale too. Like I went in there, I laid it down, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, let's do it.
And it was a younger guy, like probably not too much older than me. I think he was like a lineman or something like that.
Yeah, he wasn't that old.
And when that happened, I mean, I just burst with just joy, and that like it felt good that I truly did it by the books. I achieved what was meant to be achieved, but I didn't let it just bash me in the face. Most people, you get hit in the face, you're falling down.
Oh,
I get hit in the face, you better hit me 4 more times before I go down.
Right.
So that was a pretty crazy story, and the tempo kind of led on to in October.
September.
No, well, September to October. October, all the adrenaline was running to there, and so that was my swagger was up really high in October to get 9 sales that month. So
Yeah.
that was huge.
So you went through that, and that kind of comes back to like you think about it. Bring it back to sports, right? Basketball. Let's just say basketball. When a team they go through and they get in a big time game, right? It's a big time game and they hit a buzzer three. Well, they get the high of the high, and then guess what usually happens on the next game?
Oh, you're about to get your butt whooped.
They usually come down,
Yeah.
right? So talk about how you carried that momentum into the second month, because you have to do it in back-to-back months. So how that, you celebrated your victory, but at the same time it was like, okay, I have to achieve this, the next goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with me, it felt easier in the second month just because I just had so much tempo running into October, knowing that, some people look at it like, oh, that guy got lucky that he got 3 sales in one day. Like, there's no way, like, cool, you qualify that month. But let's see you try to do it again. You know what you're saying about basketball. Let's see you try to do it again. And it's just something to prove. Like, let me show you. I'm going to show you what I do. And I think day in and day out, even reverting to saying it now because, she's here, but me and Lizzie were pushing each other. Both were in the second qualifying month, and we both were just battling head-to-head to see who could qualify first.
Mm-hmm.
But you would see somebody else, though, their emoji up there. Well, let me throw my emoji up there, so let me go in the doors and do it. But we had to work. We worked from the morning, try to not take a break. We worked till 7:30 till that time slot was booked. And you have to give it your all. I mean, you got 1 month. You got 1 month to change your life. I would hope you would give it 110%.
I always say, if you can get to the end of the month and tell yourself, I did everything it took to achieve this, you're going to have it. But if you can go to that end of the month and you can lie to yourself, then you're not going to achieve those things.
Yeah, man, you gotta do what others aren't willing to do. That's a good saying. I mean, a lot of people aren't willing to sacrifice time just because they don't see the end result. All they see is just the time that they feel like they're wasting. It's not time wasting. It's the time you're building yourself up. You're building yourself up for a bigger picture than you see. And I went hard in October. I mean, anything that I could get my hands on, I was getting my hands on.
Yeah.
How long you been with the company now?
I want to say it was 10 months.
10 months.
10 months.
And it took you how long to become a closer?
So, I mean, qualified in 3 months, and then my recruits basically
Took a little
happened in
while.
January. So, it took me another 2 months to get my recruits to come up here. But I qualified in 3, took another 2, so 5 months. It took me
5 months
to become a
And then
closer.
How's the promotion changed your life?
It's crazy. I guess a lot of people, to give this perspective, if the college way, just most people expect to go to college, get a degree, let me go work my 9 to 5 in the office. I'm going to put X amount of money away for retirement. I'm going to try to do some kind of side hustle to get another source of income in. And it's just, you're never dedicated on your one belief or your one job that if you just put all your effort into one thing, you can make that one thing pretty damn big.
Mm-hmm.
And this job has changed me so mentally. It made me view the world, view people, and especially view some money differently. It definitely does. I mean, I look at the dollar amount in a different way just because I know my value. This is what the job gets you. You are able to work for your true value. You're not getting an X amount of money put on top of you because that's what that company thinks you're worth. Like, no, I know how much I'm worth.
How much I can make.
And that's the best thing about this company is it's changed my life I still talk about it almost every other day about paying off my student loans, where most people take in their
20,
entire
30, 40
years to just pay off their student loans. And I'm paying mine off and by the end of September. And I just started paying it 2 months ago. And it just makes me be able to know that I'm always able to sell. I can continue
You'll
to
never
sell.
be broke.
That's
one thing.
That's the cool thing performance just has. I mean, they just different, the way they stagger this source of income, it's just like, and you're just touching almost like a little pond of money where there's a whole ocean out there that performance has for you. You just gotta have the tools to get to that ocean. And if you can get to that ocean, you're gonna be fishing all day long.
And you can just take them.
Take
As long
'em.
as many baits as you can put on that hook.
It's like you can I think, what was the saying about, you can teach a man how to.
Or you can give a man a fish and feed him for a meal, but you teach him to fish and you'll feed him a lifetime.
And
we're learning how to feed. We're learning how to fish.
And so this job has opened me up in such a big way of living life. Definitely I feel like on the edge. Like I'm always going. I feel like I can just work harder now because you see the money that comes in, you're like, I can make more than that, or I can close more appointments than that, or I can set more appointments than this too. And this job has completely changed my mindset from one way to another. That I'm just like a muscle car. I just want to keep driving.
Let's talk about your second qualifying month. You know, I know it gets deep, right? But let's just talk about really and truly just what was that? When did you qualify on your second month? Like third week, fourth week?
I want to say it was actually maybe the beginning of the fourth week when I got my 8th cell, because I know Dylan closed one on Halloween, but I still remember that neighborhood still to this day when I was knocking, and I still remember that neighborhood. You know, it's a little piece of joy that brings me there, and it was like the beginning of the fourth week. I was at 7, and so I knew. I mean, at that time I knew I'm gonna qualify. Like I made it this far, it's happening.
Right.
And I remember knocking throughout the neighborhood, and there's this one home, beautiful home, original windows. And a lot of times, a lot of reps, I think, just want to knock once or ring the doorbell once, and if no answer, they're leaving. And just because that's just sometimes maybe what they think. But I knocked this door once, rang the doorbell, waited a good time, and I'm like, I gotta have this house. Like this is I almost feel like this is mine. Knocked the door a second time, rang the doorbell again, and a lady comes, peeks through the blinds, and looks at me, and I'm just like waving my hand, and she like starts opening up the window, and you know when that happens, I'm like, goodness, like here we go again. But you gotta stay,
you gotta stay
character. And so I just started, pitching the script to her, and she's just following along and just going through the script, and eventually like we're at time setting, and I think she was trying to blow it off to the next day, but I was just building urgency of like
you got to get it today.
Yeah, talking about like how the husband and this is happening, and somehow she was like, well, like I'm sick and I want to like rest, and I'm like, I'm sorry to hear about that, like your mind, like what's going on, like. And she like ends up telling me, she's like, well, I just went through some treatments for cancer. And I'm like, oh, no way. Like, if you don't mind me asking, like my mom had cancer too. Like, what did you have? And she was like, I have colon cancer. And I was like, shut up. Not literally, but like, get out of here. Really? Like, really? And she's like, it's like, what stage? And she was like, stage 4. And I was like, and I just started like, like just brought back just my mom to me. And that's my mom. What mom had was stage 4 colon cancer. And I just met her like heart to heart. We're just like, I don't think, like, this might, I don't know if you're going to believe me or not. I mean, I hope you do, but my mom really has stage 4 colon cancer, too, as well. And she was like, no way, like, this is crazy. And she's like, how is she doing? And I was like, well, I mean, she fought 2 hard years, and it kind of brought, like, a little tear to her eye. I was like, but that's not stopping you right now. See a strong woman behind you. Like, you just got to keep going and pick up where other people's left off at, because a lot of people are looking up to continue that battle you have. And but I pushed her to do today, and she just asked me, can you at least make sure, since I'm sick, whoever's coming wears a mask. And I was like, yes, ma'am, like, that's totally fine. I get it. Like, my mom was sick. I know you want to, kind of hold yourself, isolate it so nothing happens. But, I mean, getting someone in the door for a woman that has, chemo treatment, they feel like crap. Yeah. They do. I've watched my mom, like, I mean, they sit on the couch and it sucks. Their body is just drained. Everything's done. And I just, it's still in my head, like, I just wanted it so bad. I just had high belief. She needed windows. I was the guy for it. I built some rapport on the door and told you to go in there with a mask. And I wasn't thinking too much about it just because it's abundance mentality. Like, even if she doesn't close, whatever. And it was towards the end of the day. I think, like, towards when we're clocking out. And then when I heard that shout out, I went crazy in my car. But the bigger picture of that was it was almost like my mom or God was with me on that door.
Yes.
Like 100%. Like, there's no way you can ever recreate that story and say that God or my mom was not with me on that door of that scenario. And having the belief in God is huge. I think a lot of people lack it. They
I want all the help I can get.
Yeah, no.
And that's a lot of help up there.
And and it was my mom. I always tell people, like, my mom's gone, but she's always with me every step of the way. So that was huge. It's a huge story. And I think I actually ended up telling it to one of my self sets that she had cancer too as well.
No way.
And she started kind of crying to me as well about everything and stuff. But it's just crazy, like, how God works in His ways. You might not know what's happening right now in your life, but there's such a bigger image to it. And it's amazing to know that my mom's always with me, and that one thing special happened in my life to almost get promoted to a director.
Opened the biggest door we've ever had.
Yeah, so. That's what it was. My mom was there with me to give me the biggest blessing that anyone could have ever asked for a job like this. And ever since then, my life has just changed dramatically, And I can't, thank you, Garrett, for nonstop Snapchatting me and texting me, and I guess thank you, Dylan, for being home during that day.
Yeah.
I love performance, and it's huge what we're doing here.
Yeah. It all happens for a reason.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's good. That's good to go. Good to know, though, that, you work hard and that work's going to pay off sometime sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and I can tell you I remember the appointment like it was yesterday, and I think I had to wear
Socks on your shoes.
socks. No,
It's a covering. It's like almost like what nurses wear.
Yeah.
If, like, they don't want you to get your shoes dirty. It's like a little blue.
Things.
So I had all that in there, and the kid was in there, and that's one thing that she kept saying is that that you were God sent, and your story is unique because of that, but the Lord works in mysterious ways, right? We've had multiple instances with many different people where it's just like wow, right? It's just one of those wow moments, like. He's in this moment, in this room, even as a closer, or even on the door, whenever you're speaking with a certain individual, it's just like when you were sitting there and to make you knock it a second time, that gut feeling of, something about where I'm at right now is different. Right.
Yeah. I don't think I was in that neighborhood. I don't think I was knocking doors twice, and it was that door. I think I was being the one that would knock once and ring the doorbell once.
And she brought that up to me. I remember that 'cause I told you that is that she heard you knock once, and most people just leave, and then you knocked again, and that's why she came out. So that's a blessing.
It's huge. It's literally life changing.
Yeah.
That was a life changing door right there. If anything, that's a golden door right there.
Yeah, absolutely, literally.
Yeah, no, but that's awesome. So it's cool to hear still in the back end of.
So let's talk about your plans now, right? So you been in Denver. You've been here 10 months. You've been closing for what, 5?
6.
6?
No, 5.
I mean, yeah, technically I was like a full-time closer in February, so like February, March, April, May, like 4
months.
4 months, going on 4 months of closing.
So talk about the last 4 months, like, how you've grown as a person, and just as far as like, where you see yourself in, let's say the next 6 months.
Yeah. Definitely growing as a person was huge as a closer. That's a lot of accountability you have to hold. You're a bigger image to the office now. You're not a knocker. And I mean, there's some good knockers, and you definitely, you can see them. But as a closer, that's where knockers in the office looks up to you. Like, you're the guy that's going in there, and you're the one that's going to make this knocker the money. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of pressure it puts on you, and it makes you grow as a human, knowing that going in there, I got to get this person paid. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help the homeowner too as well. I got to do what they need, because that's what I'm here for, is to help them out. But yeah, as a closer, it grew me a lot, and I would say probably in the past 2 months is where I've really hit the ground running, and it's just more of a good factor of just what me and Garrett. Garrett definitely holds me huge accountability after that CrossFit of just funny story of it was me, Lizzie, and Garrett in the office, and I think Garrett was just talking about how he wanted someone to work out with him to hold him accountable too, because he needs that. You're gone, that's what you're holding him to, and he looked at me, and I was like, I'll do CrossFit with you, but he just didn't want to hear I would do CrossFit with him. He wants to know, no, you're going to be there day in and day out, pushing both of us. And the bet was, if I don't show up to CrossFit one morning, I have to send him $500. If he doesn't show up to CrossFit one morning, he sends me $1,000. I don't think I'm ever going to get $1,000 from him, but I've had to send $500. But it's the big of pushing yourself and bettering yourself each and every day. It's what Garrett's. I mean, you have to work day in and day out. You might not win today, but tomorrow you're going to win tomorrow. Or you might not close any appointments today, but you're going to close some appointments tomorrow. You just can't get down on yourself. You got to keep running. I got to keep running through this brick wall that's put in front of me to stop me. It's like something's always trying to stop you to get to your goal.
That little voice.
Yeah, it is. And if you let that little voice get to you, that train's got to keep on rolling. You can't stop. And I've definitely realized that. And just becoming very confident. That's the big thing. I think I've became very, very confident in myself of going into homes and appointments. Like, I assume as soon as I get out that car, this home's going to be filled with, performance windows.
It's like, I'm that guy.
I am. That's what I feel like. I even listen to Closer Zeros, and I'm like, I'm better than them. That's what the mentality you have to have. And I finally grabbed a hold of that mentality, because I kept feeling like other people were better than me, like almost poor me. And then I just got the confidence of, like, I'm better than these people. I know I can beat them. This is nothing to me. And then that's when it starts clicking. The past 2 months, it just started clicking where my confidence was high, belief was high, swagger was up there, and it's just because of what I'm doing outside of work. It's building the inside work. And this next 6 months are going to be huge. Just keep on working is what I tell myself, like almost, you might not be on the leaderboard today, but keep on working. You know, the spotlight might not be on me right now, but keep on working.
Yeah.
You might not be the top closer right now, keep on working.
Yeah.
Eventually I'm going to get there, and I know I am. I just got to keep fighting and being who I am. And the next 6 months definitely want to grow and end up obtaining my own office soon.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's a big milestone as well. Closer's a big milestone, but becoming a market owner is huge. And that's it's a big spotlight on you. You're the face of that office. You got to take a lot of accountability that you're gonna take that office and you're gonna run with it.
Yeah.
But you gotta build a team, like Garrett says. Like you say, you gotta bring people with you. And even though if my recruits don't make it how they did in the past, I still look forward to keeping my pipeline full, and I still have my pipeline full now of guys coming up. And I'm excited. I'm always so excited.
And people will follow you because when you do what you're supposed to do, you are leading. Like when you do, like I always say, you need to be the person that you want to be led by. And if you just always stay that person, then you're going to create a following. And, even if you don't have direct recruits, people will follow, and it's just by doing what you're supposed to do.
But you're going to get it. I say it all the time is, to become a closer, you got to have 2 consecutive months, or 100% on script, 50 conversation with homeowners and swag, right? And if you do that formula, you'll become a closer, right? To become a market owner, if you can recruit, lead, and drive revenue, you've done the formula.
Yep.
Right? So as long as you just push those pieces together, which I know 100% you will, and it's going to be it's going to be fun.
Yep. No, I'm really excited for it too. It's just, you get a bubbly gut in your feeling that, like, I know I'm going to get it. I just have that high belief against the confidence.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it. And when I get it, I'm going to do whatever I can to take that office high, high as I can go. You're going to try to beat you, try to beat you, try to beat Lizzie. She's coming in. It's a lot of competition, but it's awesome to see all of us go in our separate ways of working towards a big goal.
And it's just a short period of time.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're good. I was just a short period of time is so nice.
Well, you think about it whenever I was in the Denver office, how many times do we say that we're going to look back at this time and say this is where it all started, right? And just in the short period of time, I've been here just over a year, and you look back to where we were 8 months ago, 6 months ago, it's incredible of how much just me coming here and seeing all you guys, probably the same thing. Cotton can say the exact same thing when he came to Austin, right? The growth that y'all have had as individuals and work-related is night and day difference from where we were in January of this year. And that goes for everybody in the Denver office, and I can guarantee Cotton would vouch for Austin.
5 months. Like, that's all it's been is 5 months.
Yep.
Not even a full 5 months, but, like, everybody is just, like, stepped up to the role that they're
Different
supposed to
people.
be. That's why when y'all got there, what was Austin's revenue?
Oh, 20,000.
Yeah, like the month before was 20,000. Y'all came for a half month and did like what?
10 days we did 400K.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that's the difference. Is the people are in that office doing what they're supposed to do. Same thing with us.
Yep.
This week everybody wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. But now this weekend, people bought in, and now look, we're right back on pace.
And I think actually even knowing that fact, to even admit it, a lot of people. As Lizzie being one of the top closers, like a lot of people look up at Lizzie as like she's the top closer, she's going to rely on her. But when Lizzie, was out for a little bit, it's like, all right, well, who's going to step up? And I looked at myself, I was like, well, if there's one guy that's going to have to step up, it's going to have to be me, and I have to take that motion of, well, someone's going to do it, it's going to be me. So I think starting on, I was just trying to close every appointment, try to lead, and it started working out. But it's a lot of you got to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation for you to grow, and I'm glad we started stepping it up too. Starting Thursday, that was huge for us. And you just sometimes you got to still lead. You have a bad day, so you got to get up in front of people and preach the word about hustle, grind, don't stop. Even I might have not closed one of these knockers appointments in here, but I'm still getting up there, set more appointments. We got this. Grind, just don't stop. Believe that the next time I go on that appointment, I'm gonna close it for you.
Belief in yourself, knowing that you're the best, right?
Yeah, and that's where it comes back to the trains rolling. Nothing stopping it. We could have all no-goes for a whole month. It's not stopping. You don't lose until you quit. and we're not quitting. So we're gonna go to the top. And we might slow down, but it's never gonna stop.
Yeah, there's days like I'll tell you this, like I believe it was Wednesday. I mean, I was just drained. Like my body's out of it. I feel like I haven't took a break in forever. Like I haven't taken an off day in forever, and I was like almost on the verge of just like I don't think Lizzie was gonna be here. She might have been here Thursday. Lizzie was here Thursday, closer
Ish.
But I was like, I might take Thursday off. Like I'm wore out. Like I'm done. Like I just need a day off. I need to relax. Comfortability. I need to relax. And I just thought of I was after that day I called you, and I was just so mad. And I just wanted to take off. I just wanted peace of mind. I just knew I was like, I can't stop. If I take off, that's quitting. I just quit. I just quit on myself. And
even if you quit for a second, that's still quitting. You know.
And I knew just. You're gonna have to wake up in the morning. You're gonna go to CrossFit. You're gonna eat your breakfast. You're gonna get back on the grind, and then boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
3 out of 4 on Thursday, and I almost gave up. Everybody gives up right before they have success because they just don't see.
When it gets hard, you got to push 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Right.
Most people fold.
Yeah. Most people don't push the wall down.
That's
So
right.
what would be some words to you boys back home? You know, I know you said you got a couple people in the pipeline already. You know, I know you got some friends out there that you know you would definitely want to start a team with. You know, whenever you do open your own market, what would be your words of wisdom to them?
Yeah, I know. I still try to talk to my friends back home in my my little group message. My words of wisdom is man, you gotta do something you never done before. You gotta quit thinking in a comfortable way that you know I'm fine where I'm at. You're content with where you're at. You know I'm gonna be fine. Or a lot of times like. You know, a lot of people's mindset is, I'm going to retire from 40. Well, how are you going to retire if you're not doing something what others aren't doing? You know, and the biggest thing for them is you got to have the mentality to grind day in and day out. And I think that's what a lot of people don't have is they don't have that hunger. They don't see what others like us see in the vision. And the biggest thing is to step out your comfort zone. Do the things that you're telling yourself don't do. And I was even telling one of my recruits, if you ever mentally in your head say, I don't want to do this, you better stand up and do the damn thing of what you say you do. And it sucks doing it, but it's damn worth it. So you better do the things that you've never wanted to do in life, and the greatest things will come out of that.
Yeah. That's where you learn.
It comes down to do what other people aren't willing to do so you can have what other people can't have, right?
Yeah.
So keep pushing yourself day in and day out, bro. I'm super proud of you. Glad to have you on.
Yeah.
Glad to have you on. Tell your story. You got a very inspirational story to a lot of people. Let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, I appreciate it, boys. Thank you for letting me on and spend some words out there.
Yeah,
That's it.
What's your Instagram?
Oh yeah.
It's Guppy_Guidry.
Guppy Guidry.
That's it. That's all you need to know. Just look up Guppy and Guidry, and I'll pop up. Might be a few accounts, but you'll see my main one.
Go. Make sure y'all go follow Guppy. Send him a DM if you got any questions. He's got a lot of knowledge with him. Got a bright future ahead. So love you, brother. And thank you guys for watching Discipline, Desire, and Dedication. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.